Hello everyone, I am Miss Divya Verma, Faculty of Social Science, Class 7, Mount Litra Z School, Jhansi.
Students, in the last three sessions, we had discussed some topics of lesson number 3 of history, that is the Delhi Sultans. We had talked about some main dynasty ruled on Delhi, and then some systems we had talked about. You can go through the lectures again, previous lectures. Now today we will be talking about the taxes collected under Alauddin Khilji. So the first tax that were collected, we can say the cultivation tax, that is called as Kharaj, and that amounted to about 50% of the peasants' produce. Then the cattle tax was collected and the house tax were collected at the time of Alauddin Khilji. Now let us know about the impact of the Mongol invasions on the Delhi Sultanate. So what happened was the Mongols under Genghis Khan invaded Transoxiana in the northeast Iran in 1219, and then soon after what happened, they attacked the Delhi Sultanate. So during the reign of Alauddin Khilji and the early reigning period of Muhammad Tughlaq, there was an increase in the attack of the Delhi Sultanate, and consequently at the time when Alauddin and Muhammad Tughlaq was ruling, both the rulers has to mobilize a large standing army in Delhi just to deal with the Mongols. So they had to mobilize a large standing army in Delhi, which posed a huge administrative challenge between these two. So now let us know how this Khalji and Tughlaq dealt with this Mongol invasion. So let us talk about first Alauddin Khalji. Means when Delhi was attacked twice, then this Alauddin Khalji raised a long-standing army and also constructed a new garrison town named Siri for his soldiers. But there only on the other side, while these attacks were going on by Mongols, this Muhammad Tughlaq also raised a long-standing army and was confident about the strength of his army. But in Muhammad Tughlaq we can say the soldiers were garrisoned in the oldest of the 4 cities of Delhi, that was named Delhi-e-Kunha. Now after emptying it of its resident, the Delhi-e-Kunha was emptied of its resident, means he emptied that place and let his soldiers live there, and the residents of that old place was sent to the new capital of Daulatabad in the south. So this was you can see that what happened, means Alauddin deal with the Mongols how, and this Muhammad Tughlaq dealt how. So now second point, we can say that the Alauddin was doing good at his side and not harming anyone. Now we can say that Alauddin, at the time of Alauddin, what Alauddin did, he fed the soldiers. This was done through the produce collected as tax from land between the Ganga and Yamuna, and the tax was fixed at 50% of the peasants' yield. Means he used to fed the soldiers just with the produce collected as tax from land between the Ganga and Yamuna, and he did not change any percent of the tax collected by the peasants. And then what happened on the other side, we can say what did Muhammad Tughlaq do? He produced the produce from the same area was collected at tax to feed the army, but to meet the expense of maintaining such a large number of soldiers, the Sultan this Muhammad Tughlaq levied some additional taxes, and this coincided with the famine in the area. So this was how Alauddin was dealing and Muhammad Tughlaq was dealing. So you all must be understanding. Now second thing, what did Alauddin do? The soldiers had to be paid, so Alauddin chose to pay his soldiers' salary in cash rather than iktas. So the soldiers would buy the supplies from merchants in Delhi, and it was thus feared that merchants would raise their prices. Now to stop this, Alauddin controlled the prices of goods in Delhi. Prices were carefully surveyed by officers, and merchants who did not sell at the prescribed rates and the merchants who did not sell at the prescribed rates were punished. So this was at the part of Alauddin. But at the same time, Muhammad Tughlaq were also paid his soldiers in cash salaries, but instead of controlling prices, he used a token currency Okay, somewhat like present day paper currency, but made out of cheap metals, not gold and silver. So he changed the type of currency. Now people in the 14th century did not trust these coins, so they were very smart. They saved the gold and silver coins and paid all the taxes to the state with this token currency which he made. And this cheap currency could also be counterfeited easily. So this was what Alauddin did and Muhammad Tughlaq did. Second thing, what this Alauddin, he had a successful administration and gained praise from chroniclers for cheap prices and efficient supplies of goods in the market. He withstood the threat of Mongol invasion, means Alauddin's measures were quite successful, and chroniclers praised his reign from his cheap prices and efficient supplies of goods in the market, and he successfully did withstood with the threat of Mongol invasion. And on the Muhammad Tughlaq side, Muhammad Tughlaq's administrative measures were a failure. His campaign into Kashmir was a disaster. He then gave up his plans to invade Transoxiana and disbanded his large army. And meanwhile, his administrative measures created complications. The shifting of the people to Daulatabad were rescinded, the raising of taxes and famine in the Ganga Yamuna belt to this widespread rebellion, and finally the token currency had to be recalled. So this was Alauddin in this dealing with the Mongol invasion. Alauddin was successful, and the Muhammad Tughlaq's administrative measures were a failure. So you can see this. Then what happened? So this was all about the administration in the Delhi Sultan of Khalji's and Tughlaqs. And then after Sayyids came and the Lodi, and then at the last Delhi Sultan of Lodi dynasty was defeated by Babur of Mughal Empire in 1526. That is when Mughals started ruling after Delhi Sultan. This was Delhi Sultan. This way Delhi Sultan ended up, and Mughals Empire came into rule, about which we will be studying about in the next chapter, that is chapter number 4 of history. So here the chapter 3, the Delhi Sultans end up and go through all the lectures, all the 4 lectures of this chapter again, go through the main points, go through the main things, and recollect the things we had studied in this chapter. Go through the NCERT book websites. Okay, thank you.